Welcome to today's explainer. If you've ever tried to organize a living space, a patio, or maybe a backyard, you absolutely know that finding the perfect infrastructure is literally a universal challenge. It usually ends in a giant pile of return receipts and mismatched pots, right? Well, today we're unpacking a highly relatable entry from a series called Notes on Gardening, specifically Part 98.9, written by an author named Ang. We're going to look at that timeless, frustrating struggle between form, function, and finances when it comes to garden setups. It's actually a fantastic little micro-study in consumer decision-making and design philosophy. And it's all centered around the hunt for the elusive perfect plant rack. Let's get right into it.
So, Ang writes, "While I've been exploring different plant racks all these moons, I still can't find the right ready-made plant rack." Now, what's really interesting about this specific language is that phrase, all these moons. It instantly frames this search not just as, a quick weekend shopping trip to the hardware store, but as an epic, ongoing journey. The author has been exploring and really indulging in their gardening hobby for quite some time, desperately trying to find a ready-made solution that genuinely suits their different gardening areas. It's that classic problem, isn't it? You've got a specific space, a specific need, and the mass-produced options out there, well, they just aren't clicking.
Section 1. The Red Plastic Contender.
Okay, so every epic journey has a turning point. Out of pure curiosity about the design of different setups, Ang stumbles upon a brand new option that just immediately catches the eye. And honestly, you can easily see why this specific rack stopped the author dead in their tracks when you look at the perceived benefits. First off, it's made of really thick plastic. Second, it comes in this incredibly vibrant red color. Third, and this is probably the absolute most crucial thing for outdoor gardening, it's highly durable. Because of that thick plastic build, it's specifically designed to withstand harsh tropical weather. For anyone gardening in a climate where the sun just beats down relentlessly and the rain pours heavily, finding materials that won't warp, rust, or degrade is literally the holy grail. So at this point in the narrative, the excitement is definitely building. It sounds like the ultimate heavy-duty solution.
Section 2. The Price and Space Reality.
But just as the excitement peaks, boom, we hit that classic bait and switch. Ang takes a closer, much more detailed look at this durable, vibrant red rack, and all that initial enthusiasm, it instantly evaporates the second they see the price tag. Here's the deal. On one side, we have our new contender offering, frankly, reduced space. But for the exact same price point, you could go out and purchase a stainless steel 4-tier plant rack. Think about that for a second. For the identical amount of money, you could get maximum vertical space. We're talking 4 whole tiers of stainless steel. This right here is the ultimate consumer dilemma. Do you pay a premium for a specific aesthetic or material, but completely sacrifice the actual utility and volume you desperately need for your plants?
So Ang makes a really definitive ruling here. At the same price point, getting a rack with such reduced space is simply not worth it, and that's a hard stop. The opportunity cost is just way too high. Look, when you're organizing a garden, space is your absolute most valuable currency. Giving up a massive 4-tier capacity just to get a thick plastic red rack simply doesn't make any economic sense. The author just immediately rejects the plastic rack based purely on this cost-efficiency calculation.
Section 3. Color Theory in Gardening.
Now, Ang doesn't just stop at the economics of it all. The analysis actually goes a step further, shifting from your wallet straight to your eyes. Because even if the price had been an absolute steal, there was another glaring issue with the red plastic contender. And it has everything to do with how the rack's design interacts with the living plants themselves. The vibrant red color of the rack actually overshadows the plants, specifically the flowering ones. It competes directly with the vibrant colors of the blooms. Think about it. Instead of noticing the beautiful flowers you've spent literally months cultivating, your eye is naturally drawn to this giant red piece of plastic. However, and I love this, Ang makes a fantastic caveat. This red rack could actually work, but really only if you pair it with plant species known strictly for their vibrant green foliage. In that very specific case, the red and green create a striking, complementary contrast.
And this perfectly leads us into a really core gardening philosophy. The focus should be on the vibrant colors of the blooms instead of the plant rack. Honestly, this is a powerful takeaway for any kind of design, really. The infrastructure, the shelves, the racks, the pots, it should all act as a frame, not the main subject. It should never, ever outshine the natural beauty it's meant to hold and display. Simply put, if your plant rack is stealing the spotlight from your flowers, it is fundamentally failing at its primary job.
Section 4. The journey continues. Till the next post.
So ultimately, the thick plastic rack might have been durable enough for harsh tropical weather, but it totally failed the tests of both economics and aesthetics. After weighing that high price tag, the severely reduced space, and the distracting color, the author left the rack behind. And so, the epic search for the perfect ready-made plant rack carries on. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. What compromises are you willing to make between form, function, and price in your own quest for the perfect garden layout? Or really, in any area of your home? Eng drew a hard line at sacrificing space and visual focus just for durability. So where do you draw your lines? It's a fascinating balancing act we all play as consumers and creators. Thanks so much for joining me today to explore this delightful piece of gardening analysis. Until next time, keep optimizing your space and keep learning.